Okay, yes. Good evening, Nigerians across the world. Top of the moment to you. My name is Komelante Oriahe, and this is the Comrade Show. I want to quickly enjoin you if you are joining us. Please share this broadcast, and I want to quickly announce that we have His Excellency Mr. Peter OBI right in the house. But before we bring him on, let me quickly let you know that we have the Musketeers of the Comrade Show right in the house, and we're going to go straight into his pathway to a new Nigeria. And as part of the ground rules, we are going to be taking calls at some point. Some of our team members will be monitoring the social media platforms where we are going to be picking questions, and we're going to be displaying our numbers shortly so that people can call in. It's going to be very engaging. We like Nigerians to engage directly with His Excellency Mr. Peter OBI as the program progresses. But without much ado, let me let you know that obedient Dr. Tony Agbansewafi is in the house. Obedient pharmacist Ramirez in the house, and of course another associate of the Musketeer, talking of Dr. Loretta Boroko is equally in the house. Your Excellency, Mr. Peter OBI, you're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you.
So I want to quickly pass the baton to obedient Dr. Tony Agbansewafi. So roll the first dice, please.
Thank you very much, my brother, obedient comrade Lamte Oriahi. Your Excellency, you are welcome to the Comrade Show. This segment, we call it the Comrade and Friends. You are welcome, sir. Without much ado, I want to ask you, Your Excellency.
I'm listening to you.
Okay, I want to ask you, Nigeria as we are today, and looking at your antecedent, why do you think, sir, that at this point in time, you are the best man for this job, to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2023?
I don't know what to answer this one.
We can hear you, sir.
I'm wondering where to answer this one. Well, I'm just trying to get this thing to be steady. Well, for me, it's a very straightforward thing. It's for you to check the background of all those who are contesting and what they've been able to do in the past and what is happening and everything. Maybe we'll discuss this as we go into more detailed information of what is happening. Because I don't think everybody will say it's the best. For me, the simple answer is check everybody's background. We're going to be saying the same thing, but would you trust that what he's saying he will do? And that can only be as a result of verified past or where the person has served in the past.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody can claim it's the best.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, I want to roll this before I move to Dr. Loretta. Sir, I'm going to ask this in pidgin English, sir. My mama, my own mother, a very elderly woman, in there with me for here, in the UK with us here. She's a very strong lover of Peter OBI, and she even insists we must buy her a ticket to go to Nigeria and she go vote in February. But my mama gets one concern, sir, and I believe many Nigerians get the same concern. And that concern be say things they very bad currently for Nigeria. To the extent that the economy is really bad, people know they feel they buy something from market again, dollar they rise, everything they expensive, insecurity they on one side, and this problem, according to my mama, is they overwhelming. That she even they fear for you, Your Excellency. And the fear which they fear, and I say, if you become president, or rather when you become president, all these problems, it not go too much, it not go overwhelm you, now be the crime when she dey cry. Say because before election we will reach, the problem they said they would not increase very well. So which assurance you want give my mama and people will be like my mama, we love you, we want elect you, but they fear say problem too much before you become president.
So many countries have gone through this problem. We're not the first people who are facing this problem. So many other countries have gone through this problem and they were able to pull out. What it requires is leadership. We are not the first people. You can go and study about Brazil, Mexico, China, India, all these people have gone through all problems that are far, far worse than ours. And we're able to pull it out. Once you change the country and start making it to be more productive, you start pulling people out of poverty. You start solving the problems. You know, start reducing the bandits and everything. What you are seeing in Nigeria is cumulative effect of leadership failure over the years. And you can strengthen it by turning it around and making it work.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Let me quickly move on to Dr. Loretta Omoroko. Your question for His Excellency.
Thank you, Oriahi. Your Excellency, I actually had a question for you, but following on what the comrade asked, I cannot help but backtrack a bit, sir. He said in Mama, and you answered that question for English. Comrade Mama not they understand this grammar. Because
I wanted him to translate it to Mama for broken.
Comrade not going to do that one, no. Because the mothers are all listening to you now, sir. They listen.
Okay, it's true. Maybe I would have I will follow and speak the grammar way speak.
Exactly, sir. But never too late. I will see this grammar for my question. Go on, sir. Tell comrade Mama. There are many Mama out there where they watch you, sir.
Well, I don't talk them before and I'm saying the problem where we enter, not because first we will enter that problem. So many people don't enter the same problem and they don't come out because they get better people where they rule them. So now in Nigeria needs to do next get better person where Sabi, where go deal with the problem where they ground.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You do well. Now, for me, everybody knows my background is healthcare primarily. So I have taken time out to look at the front-running political parties and to look at what they have on the table for healthcare in terms of the entire healthcare system revamp for Nigeria. And I dare say that I have a lot of questions on all fronts for everyone, and particularly for you, sir, narrowing it down. What is your vision of a revamped Nigerian healthcare sector? What do you think would be the key ingredients that would help us improve our value for human life?
Well, mine is not to isolate one, either healthcare or education or anything that's separate. Mine is to look at the overall thing and know that they're all interwoven. You can't talk about healthcare separately from issue of poverty, issue of education. They're all the same thing because if you want to deal with HDI, you deal with them simultaneously. And when you talk about HDI, you're talking about health, which is life expectancy, and you're talking about education, you're talking about per capita income, poverty. So it is in dealing with the economy, you must deal with health. If you're trying to move the HDI where it will be measurable, you deal with health. And you can't do health without talking about primary health care, because that is the foundation. And that foundation, there's a lot you need to do. You need to train the key personnel. We don't have enough nurses. We don't have enough. So there's quite a lot of things you need to do in that sector, which is not going to be just promising. It's something I can tell anybody. We've attempted to do some work while I was governor in Anambra State. When I came and people were talking about healthcare, but we didn't have one single school of nursing that was accredited. No school of midwifery that was accredited. No school of health technology. So for us, you can't deal with it unless you first train the human infrastructure that will drive that process. So you invest in that. And then start building the primary care health centers within villages and everything. Before you even talk about taking it out beyond that, we are the, what you can call the lead stage. And we have to aggressively drive first by dealing with the manpower, a human resource, and everything and all that. So that's basically, for me, my contribution tonight.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have made it clear that primary health care will be a main focus. And listening to you speaking, I can actually decipher that you're talking about, even though you've not termed it that way, you're talking about the 6 pillars of healthcare as designated by the WHO, the 6 pillars of healthcare systems. But more importantly, I'm really pleased that you have actually identified the fact that healthcare is a continuum and it's a web. It's not just one cadre. It's going to be everybody, the nurses, the physiotherapists, even the porter and the people at the gates, the healthcare assistants, health economists, and all of that. So I think that's a good starting point, sir. I'll give that to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Loretta. We have a caller. Just before I come to pharmacist Iremiran, yes, what is your name and where are you calling from?
And I'm calling from Abuja in Nigeria.
Go ahead, Mr. Douglas. You've got 90 seconds, sir.
Good job that you guys are doing. Thank you, Mr. Obi, for coming on this. Question, the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. If you look at number 3, in terms of the numbers, number 3 talks about healthcare. I've not heard any presidential candidate or even the governorship candidate talking about healthcare. Healthcare is a mainstream political issue, and it's one thing that actually shows that governments actually care about their people, especially the vulnerable people. What is the Labour Party and your plan for healthcare in Nigeria? I would really like to know that. Thank you very much.
I didn't hear what this person is saying.
Yeah, it's asking in summary what your plans are for healthcare system holistically in Nigeria.
You know, when people ask questions and say holistically, there's no way you can come in a situation where in Nigeria, I've just said it now, that you can't take healthcare separate. You can't just go and start, you're dealing with healthcare. You have to deal with all these issues simultaneously, and it has to be a gradual process. You can't just say, I'm going to do healthcare holistically and then abandon education, abandon this. You're going to do that, what I said, it starts with the primary thing. You have to look at the overall picture of development, which is HDI, and say, I want to move this maybe from low to medium. In doing this, you're going to be tackling healthcare, tackling the issue of education, an issue to do with poverty, because people have to have jobs, they have to have means of livelihood. They talk about healthcare, you talk about the education, and everything simultaneously. And I've said where we'll start. I'm not going to tell anybody we're going to come now and start building socialist hospitals all over the place. You start from the basic. On that basic foundation is to have facilities to train the human infrastructure that is required. Then dealing with primary care facilities within rural areas.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I'll now move on quickly now to obedient pharmacist Iremira. Yes, pharmacist.
Thank you so much, Comrade Pausaraki. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. By the grace of God, the incoming president of Nigeria come 2023. My question borders on security. There is no gainsaying the obvious that Nigeria is in big trouble now with security, and the issue of state police is being talked about. My straight question to you, incoming president, what is your stand on Nigeria's current security vis-a-vis state police?
Well, I've spoken very much about state police. If you're following me, I've said it repeatedly that we're going to have local government, state, and national police. It's given in our population. You know, I've spoken about it very, very well and everywhere and all that.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Moving away from that, sir. Recently, the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, made some revelations bordering on fiscal responsibility on the part of state governors, particularly making reference to the 9 states in Nigeria that benefit from derivation, giving credit to President Muhammadu Buhari for paying, some arrears, that have to do with the derivation. Of course, insinuating an indictment on some of the state governors, not really giving proper account. And when you look around, the major failings in Nigeria is not just attributed to what is happening at the federal level. There's so much fiscal irresponsibility, even at the state levels, at the local government level. If you are elected president, sir, what will you do to ensure that the component parts of Nigeria, the state and the local government, have some level of fiscal responsibility that can drive development even at the level of the state and the local government?
I think that's one of where. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
We can hear you, sir. We can see you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, we can see you.
Come again, I'm not hearing you very well. What's happening?
So, Your Excellency, I was asking, I said, given some sort of fiscal irresponsibility that is very much prevalent within the system, at the federal level, at the state level, and at the local government level. So I'm asking that if you are elected president, what will you do, to guarantee some level of fiscal responsibility and discipline, transparency on the part of state governors and local government chairmen to ensure that your development that you are promising Nigeria is not just development driven by the federal government, but equally driven by the state and the local government leaders and all of that?
Yeah, I think His Excellency is trying to reset his device.
Yes.
So while he's doing that, we just want to flash our numbers. Viewers of this show, you can call in. The number is going to be displayed now while His Excellency reset his device. So you can call in on this number that is displayed on the screen. Please call in to ask any question while His Excellency resets.
Yeah, and we're equally glad that we have Professor Pat Utobe in the house. Yes, Nigeria's number, the number has been displayed. You can call in this interactive section. His Excellency, former Governor Peter Obi and the Labour presidential candidate is right here with us in the house. Your Excellency, are you good to go?
I'm no longer hearing you well, and where I am there is like I got off where have no lights again, you know.
The Nigerian factor. And we are glad, Mr. Excellency, that you will be the next president who will fix all this so that things like this will not be happening in Nigeria. But I am sure, sir, if you can confirm that you can manage, of course, we see these are part of the situations, and this is why this engagement is ongoing.
Well, all I will tell you, let me just tell you, all I'll tell you, maybe let me see whether I can do this before they even cut me off finally. All I can tell you is that the issue of fiscal rascality will be dealt with.
I think we love.
Okay, His Excellency has just promised that the issue of fiscal rascality will be dealt with. Let me quickly welcome Professor Patu Tomi, he's right in the house. Prof, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Yes, I'll quickly pass the baton now to Dr. Agbons. Dr. Agbons, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Your Excellency. The second question I want to ask you is that there's a lot of worry. We have asked this question earlier to Prof. There's a lot of worry among Nigerians. Our page, we are loaded with complaints with regards to the collection of PVCs. Sir, we know you are a presidential candidate of the Labour Party with a large following among the Nigerian people. What pressure is being put on INEC to make sure that Nigerians get their PVCs? This is very, very important, especially as we move towards a new Nigeria.
I'm sure Pat must have answered that question very well, because they are the ones who are putting pressure on them, you know. Well, that is being handled by the big tent, or maybe Labour Party. You know, as a candidate, I cannot get involved as such, because I'm a player. So I can't be condemning the referee anything.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yes, thank you, sir.
So we have a caller. Let's take this. Okay, I think we've lost the call. Yes, let me quickly turn now to Dr. Loretta Uboroko. Please go ahead with your question, ma'am.
It's a very simple thing. The candidate, presidential candidate, has said that Professor Tomi will have an answer to that question that was asked. I think we should just.
No, I said Professor Tomi must have made a comment on it, because they are the one, he is involved in those who are pushing with the issue of voters collection. There's quite a number of people involved in that.
Yes, sir. We agree with you. So I think Professor Tomi may just want to give 1 minute and just recap the answer to that question before His Excellency takes the phone call that is coming in.
Okay, thank you so very much. As I said earlier, central to the effectiveness of our democracy is the fact that the new momentum that has come with the Peter Obi candidacy, which has led to much new enthusiasm. I said earlier that the Afro Barometer is a measure for how Africans are keyed into the democratic process. The Afro Barometer in 1999 indicated enormous excitement about democracy in Nigeria. Since then, it has been progressively going south because people had come to distrust the electoral process, the work of the umpires, and so on. But instead of the experience of lower voter turnout that has characterized the process in the last 20 years, every election saw fewer people voting, even though the population was increasing. However, this year, there was an explosion of enthusiasm because for the first time in a long time, Nigerians thought that something different was coming. that they could have a new beginning as a country. And they wanted to participate in the process and use the electoral process to change things. As you know, Ghana has ranked higher than Nigeria for years on the so-called failed states index, simply because Ghana has been able to show routinely that it can change a government in power and bring in new blood. And then when they are not satisfied, change again. So Nigeria was losing out on these benefits, which you can see in terms of investments into Ghana. Now this year, the enthusiasm has really, gone sky high. And we are in grave danger if not properly managed, that Nigerians can become, disenchanted with democratic process. This is why we thought that INEC should realize that it has a historic obligation to the Nigerian people to ensure that all of those who have been registered collect their PVCs and are able to exercise their fundamental rights to vote and be voted for. We got a good reception from INEC, who says that they are working on it, but we left a message that we were going to keep the pressure up, because not to do it right would be to do grave damage to our prospects as a country with our democracy. We believe that citizens have a duty to keep the pressure up, make sure that they collect their PVCs and that they vote. And we have said to INEC, even if you have any big problem, bear in mind that you have biometric measures. Surely, if somebody shows up, face technology suggests that the technology will recognize the face of the person or the thumbprint, and that should be automatic. We know that's the person who registered. So using bureaucracy to push away democracy should not be an accepted way to go forward. So this is the message we have tried to deliver to INEC, and we're building a league, a coalition with civil society organizations to ensure that we make progress on that score.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, quickly now to pharmacist Iremiran. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Komilante Pausaraki. My question is to the incoming president of Nigeria come 2023. Like Lante did ask you, there's a myriad of problems that will be confronting you once you become president in 2023. But I just want to ask, what do you think will be the low-hanging fruit that you want to quickly pluck to set Nigeria right? I don't believe in the first 100 days, but I believe that as soon as you get into office, there are things you want to do to tell Nigerians that you are on the right trajectory. What do you think will be the low-hanging fruit you'll be plucking immediately to set our country right?
I think you can take that question again.
Yeah, I was asking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, well, there's nothing I can call low-hanging fruit. The thing is to bring in governance that is focused and committed to doing the right thing. You will not say this is. First is that you need to decisively deal with the issue of security of life and property, start uniting the country, start tackling the issue, because if you deal with the issue of security decisively, your farmers can go back to farm. That's the first step. And once they go back to farm, you start having increase for farm agricultural products, which will reduce inflation in the food sector. And then from there, you build on other issues, you need to deal with the tackle issue, head on the issue of fiscal rascality, issues like subsidy, stealing of petroleum, corruption. These are things, I won't call them low-hanging fruit, but things you need to deal with it decisively. And they're there and straightforward to you to deal with.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We have a caller on the line. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Maurice. I'm calling from Italy.
Go ahead, Mr. Morris. You've got 90 seconds.
Mr. President speak about. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. President, our incoming president has been saying, and to tackle insecurity, we have to create jobs and order. The issue of insecurity in Nigeria has beyond the minimum wages of salary because it has become an investment in the areas of banditry and also some other corruptible security agencies in Nigeria. And how will he tackle the politicians and the people working in the government who are collaborating with the insecurity? Because the problem is no longer the minimum of creative job, because creative job, the people who earn billions of nairas or while kidnapping and all that, they will not be motivated to take that kind of job, right? They will prefer to be collecting big money and remainder.
I'm not understanding your question. I'm not hearing you very well. Can somebody repeat?
And it cannot work.
Mr. Morris, excuse me, sir. What exactly is your question? I mean, His Excellency is not really understanding you.
The issue to tackle it because the ordinary.
What issue are you referring to, sir? Make it straight, please.
I'm talking of insecurity.
Thank you very much, sir. He's asking how will you tackle the issue of insecurity, sir?
That's what I just said. That you deal with it. I've said it repeatedly. That if I tell people exactly what I'm going to do about security, so what tool am I going to use to fight the people when I come? If we're a criminal, and I say I'm going to catch you using road A, will you still pass through road A?
No.
I said I'll deal with it decisively where it has to be responsive and responsible by making sure, because it's the first priority. I'm not going to tell you exactly how it's going to happen, but I know that it can be tackled, and I've studied it, and I know it can be tackled head on.
Yeah,
thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I just want to quickly come in here. Your Excellency, we saw you travel around the world meeting with Nigerians in the diaspora, and there's something really speaking for many people in the diaspora with regards to voting. Many of them cannot vote in this election, and they would have loved to. Are you really promising those of us in the diaspora that come 2027, when you'll be finishing your first tenure and then you'll be going for a second term, by the grace of God, inshallah, that we can vote from the diaspora in 2027?
There will be a lot of changes, including whether people are doing second term or not. But I assure you that this is the last election where people, any Nigerian anywhere, will not vote, because the other countries are doing it. So smaller countries that are not giants of Africa, but every African country is doing it. And I know from Ghana to Kenya to Angola that just started. So South Africa. So why not Nigeria?
Thank you, Your Excellency. That is very, very reassuring. And I know millions of Nigerians outside the shores of our country, they are hearing you and believe you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we have another caller on the line. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Patrick Eze. I'm calling from United Kingdom.
Patrick Eze, go ahead, sir. Speak a bit louder.
My question to His Excellency is about security. I know I overheard him saying that he doesn't want to answer how he will tackle the insecurity in Nigeria. But I want to know, sir, how are you going to reform police and also the other security agencies in Nigeria?
So, sir, he's asking how you want to reform, you will reform the police system and other security agencies.
Of course, by training them properly, equipping them properly, bringing the required discipline into the force. There's no other reform you're going to do. I've told you that we're going to have 3 tiers of police. We're going to train them properly. We increase the manpower. We're going to train them properly. We're going to equip them properly. And that's all.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have another caller before I come to Mr. Pharmacist Remiran. Hello, what's your name, sir? And where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from the Netherlands.
Go ahead, Mr. Emmanuel.
Well, mine is not a question. I have 2 contributions to make to His Excellency. Yes, my first contribution is I want him to please take note of this. He's been going around meeting with other parties and all. It's a welcome development. The hope of a lot of Nigerians, millions of Nigerians, are on you. So please, if you need to do a deal with them, other parties, please go ahead. It's a welcome development. I support that wholeheartedly. That is my contribution number 1.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, what did you say?
My contribution number 2
is can you speak louder, sir? Sir, Your Excellency, what he said is that he's in support of you consulting with other political parties to bring them on board, and that he's just advising and not really asking a question. We'll take another caller now. This one before I come to Iremira. Hello. Hello, can you hear me? We've lost the call. Over to you, Pharmacist Iremira.
Thank you so much, Komilante Kponsah-Arahi. Incoming president, you've been on the road, you've gone everywhere, canvassing and campaigning. In fact, your name has become a household name. Can you tell us what your experiences has been? And some people have accused you to say you are a candidate of the East alone. Are you really a candidate of the East alone?
Nobody will accuse me of that. Because I've been the only person who have never used any tribal sentiment, and I've said it. I don't believe in it. People should not vote for anybody because of tribe, because there's no tribe that is not suffering in Nigeria. Neither will people vote for people because of religion, because there's no religion that is not suffering. None of them buys very cheap. And for me, it's about character, competence, capacity, and the ability to do the right thing.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We'll take another caller. And like we said, it's a very interactive program.
I have 2 problems that I'm going to face now. Like I told you, where I am, they're still struggling with light. And my phone will die any minute from now, because that's the phone I've been using since morning today, running from pillar to post.
Okay. In that case, I'm sure that we take this question, and I hope that His Excellency will have the space to respond to this caller, and possibly if His Excellency approves it, we'd like to make arrangements for another section like this another time. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
I can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Dr. Uzo. I'm calling from Sugarland, Texas.
Go ahead, Dr. Uzo.
Uzo.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Dr. Uzo.
I said, go ahead, ma'am. I can hear you, Dr. Uzo.
Okay. Actually, I have a comment. We have heard so much from our Excellency, Ms. Anita Obi. My comment is, and my suggestion is that he should rest and allow his surrogates to do his bidding, because he has laid out his manifesto to every Nigerian. We pretty much know what he's coming for, and everybody else is just sitting down. We can replay and replay his videos. He needs to take some time to stay back and put his government together. Another thing that I noticed is that I talked to family back home, and he's a source of hope for the common man. And there is a downer there because many of them are feeling like they might not be able to vote for this their candidate. I would hope that the people in charge, like Professor Tommy, like he mentioned, are working diligently to make sure that these people get their PVCs and vote. Many people in my family have registered and yet to get their PVCs. So that is what I hope for, and that is really, really a concern for so many Nigerians, even if they are dancing and canvassing and supporting and wishing for the best to come in the presidency of His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bozo. I think His Excellency has taken that on board. I will quickly pass the baton.
Thank you very much for your advice. The issue of PVC really needs to be worked on to make sure that people vote. And what you said about arresting, well, it's two ways. I want people to hear me. I know when it's campaign time, there was an issue where people were talking about us speaking through our spokespeople or speaking through our third party organizer. I said, no. Nigerians are tired of that. They want to hear the candidate. Let the candidate say what he wants to say. I'm happy that you live in America. When they campaign in America, I followed Clinton. In my days, I lived in UK, and I followed Obama and recently Biden. When you're campaigning for election, you're the one who is campaigning. Your spokespeople rarely coming. We have enough people who are speaking for us. They should do it, but this time around, Nigerians should hear from the candidates and know what he has to offer and be able to take it on board so that tomorrow it doesn't say, like some of the issues we're having here and there, where you say somebody promises, you say, no. It's not him who said it, it's their party, or is this person who said it. We want to hear the candidate now so that we take it that Mr. Obi has said when he comes, he's going to deal with the issue of corruption. And we can go and verify where he's coming from and know how corrupt the place was. And then we can say, okay, we can trust him. Not that people are not talking. It's like issue where you don't have people are saying they will not come to debate, they will not do this. If they are not speaking to Nigerians now and are not participating, is it when they have the power of excellency? Like it's coming here, they wouldn't speak to anybody. At that stage, nobody will ever hear from them again.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Just a follow on from what you just said. Nigerians want to hear their potential leaders speak. And now, you just said, oh, they can ask Mr. Obi, you said this or you didn't say that, and hold him accountable. I'm just going to ask, is there any way we are going to find you accountable for some sort of national healing when you come on board? Because right now, there's a lot of fragmentation in our nationhood. Is there anything, any move you are going to make with respect to national healing, sir?
I don't, I need you to explain more what you're talking about national healing.
So what I'm saying now is that we have a nation, a country, Nigeria, which some people, rightly or wrongly, they called it a contraption of strange bedfellows. Some have even said, oh, we are probably better apart. But then there was a man who said many years ago that to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. So I am asking, with respect to this, you have plans when you come to board, sir, for national?
I'm a Nigerian, I'm a contestant in Nigeria, and I've said it repeatedly that I will unite Nigeria. I will make it work. There's nothing called, once you start doing the right things, building a country where everything is done properly based on rule of law. You have law and order, there's justice, there's fairness. You eliminate all those divisions. And then you start showing love. You know, it's as flooding like it is now. You visit the states. I'm going to tour all the states of Nigeria. I'm going to show that you are the leader. It's part of being leadership. Part of leadership is to ensure unity, to ensure empathy, to show empathy, to show love and everything, by making sure that everybody feels a sense of, whole. That's all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. So, just before you leave, I know that you really on the edge of the seat now because of the conditions around you. Sir, people have been asking. There are lots of people that want to support your campaign, and they don't seem to have in the public space the account number that people can legitimately donate to. I don't know if you have a clue on that.
Try to deal with that issue as quickly as possible. Please just give us some few days to deal with that issue. But it's good that you asked the question tonight.
Thank you very much, sir. That sounds very well. Sir, lastly, before we let you go, sir, what emphatic message would you have for obedience worldwide? And so fast to state quickly, sir.
What I tell people is very simple. Do not see this as if you are supporting Peter Obi. No. It is about Nigeria. It is about the future of the society our children will live in. It is about everybody. Just see that you're contesting an election through me, and you want the best for the society, the best for your children, the best for everybody.
I think
okay, I think all right, Nigerians, greetings to you. It's been a comrade show, and we've had just these few minutes with His Excellency, and of course you can see that the conditions right there in Nigeria doesn't seem quite right. However, let me assure us that this appears to be the more that His Excellency can take right now, but be rest assured that we are going to work to bring His Excellency on another time. Hopefully, he's going to have more time to talk to Nigerians, because we really want to, continue to create this engagement where His Excellency Peter Obi will be talking to Nigerians directly. He's already doing that. Of course, he has equally said that he's committed to speaking to Nigerians because at the end of the day, he's the one to be held accountable. I want to thank everybody who's called in. Mr. Emmanuel, Mr. Morris from Italy, Patrick from the UK, Dr. Okbazu. Thank you so very much for calling. And of course, Nigerians worldwide, please share this broadcast. And of course, keep following the comrade show. Dr. Agbons, it's not a very long time, but it was quite engaging. What are your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, it's I'm really happy. And this is what we are talking about. Despite his loaded schedule, we all know the time that we allotted for this program. His Excellency was able to speak with us, talk to Nigerians, take questions. This is what governance is all about. It's not somebody there and somebody here. So, because the truth of the matter is that, as far as I'm concerned, governance is a social contract. So, and power truly belongs to the people. When you have people like His Excellency Peter Gregory will be coming to talk to us like this, coming to talk to Nigerians, it gives us hope that indeed a new Nigeria is possible.
Obedient performance,
yeah, I just want to say that it's a pleasure to have had him. If you're out there still thinking of what to do, what happened to this clear testament, why is talking to a man that's wanting to be president of Nigeria? we were again reminded of Nigerian story. There was indeed no light. Nigeria actually happened to us. And if we want a change, get your PVC and make good use of it. Hopefully, we'll bring him back again. But it's been a very refreshing one with him.
Dr. Loretta Boroko.
Thank you very much, the comrades and three musketeers. And thank you to everybody who managed to stay until this time and catch this program. I just want to commend something that Mr. Peter Obi said, and that was the fact that he's going to keep on speaking to every Nigerian he can manage to reach, because he wants to be held accountable on his words. And I also want to thank Professor Pat Utomi for what he said about ensuring that the PVCs are actually collected and actualized. But I think what gladdened my heart the most this evening, perhaps with help being my primary constituency, was listening to a candidate who admitted that the healthcare system in Nigeria is more than just one group of core professionals. The healthcare system is way beyond health. It incorporates a whole lot of other aspects of human life and governance, i.e. economics, power, education, security, ICT, infrastructure. But also, more importantly, he understood that primary healthcare is the foundation of creating a solid bedrock. Because I have been opportune to study healthcare systems. And I found out that from Canada to America to the UK, our beloved NHS here, primary healthcare is the fulcrum of any healthcare system worth its salt, because it improves your prevention, and prevention is far, far cheaper and wiser than cure. And then you don't have time to tackle the tertiary problems or illnesses. But more importantly, there was something he said that really stuck. He said it's not the time to build new structures in healthcare. So he understands that the healthcare system has enough structures on ground. We have PHCs that are not functional. We don't need to build new ones. We can begin to overhaul all the ones we have on ground. And then he touched on a sore topic, human capacity building in health. You can have a massive hospital. You can have equipment, but people that are not there to run it, they won't run themselves. We need proper human capacity building across our healthcare ecosystem. People who understand these machines and how to use them. And when you've done anything with any machine, you can interpret the results. And when you interpret the results, you have the facility to do or put anything to use. I know gentlemen are wondering, why is she going on about healthcare? But the truth is that we need to have value for human life.
Dr. Loretta Boroko, I just want to cut in, very briefly. You are a medical doctor. You live in the UK. There are many of us.
I live across borders now. Yeah.
Nigerians, doctors, professionals, nurses, live in Nigeria in droves. As a matter of fact, it's been reported, by many sources that we are getting short of healthcare professionals because people are going outside of Nigeria to ply their trade abroad and all of that. Will that not be a problem for this president? I mean, for Peter Obi when he's elected or if he's elected?
So interestingly, there's a ratio of doctors that is set as standard to patients. So ideally, you should have about one doctor to about 600 to 500 patients, WHO standards. And the same thing for nursing care as well. But we have a population of over 250 million. So in the first place, if I speak for medicine, we don't even have enough doctors to tackle our 250 million. And now we have more than half of those people outside of the country. So it means we have to look inwards. It is where we now need to obviously upgrade the capacity of our community health extension workers, of our nurses. We need to build their capacity to such a stage that they can, where there is no doctor, they can cope, and then they know when to refer. And that's why Mr. Obi hit the nail on the head. You must get the primary health care working, even with all of these doctors leaving. Now, the interesting thing, Comrade Oriahi, is that you cannot stop anybody from moving to where they want to go to, but you can affect or address the factors that are driving them out. And one of them is, look at what happened just now. Nigeria happened to us. There was no light. There was a power outage. If you are a surgeon and you are operating and there's a power outage, how are you going to feel? How is the patient going to be looked after? So Mr. Obi is right in saying that we need to tackle everything. But at the same time, when people leave the shores of the country, it is not, and I repeat this, it is not the final nail in the coffin. In fact, it is a liberation. Because look at India. There's what you call brain regain, or you call it brain gain. Now we are having brain drain, but we can convert it if we have enabling governance and an enabling system. A lot of people right now who are outside the United Kingdom, or sorry, who are outside the country, Nigeria, in the UK, US, anywhere, whether we like it or not, a lot of them are in the healthcare sector in all these other countries. We know the number of Nigerians in the NHS. So what I'm saying is that if we have a man on board who understands what he is doing, and he comes back home and creates an enabling environment, then you're going to find a reversal, which is what has happened in India. You're going to find a reversal of all these brains that have been drained. And what happens is that they will come back better. They'll come back understanding the tenets of patient-centered care. They will come back knowing that the patient is king. They'll come back with a lot more skills. So I would posit that those who want to leave, they can leave. We need them to leave now so that they are better groomed, they are better ironed, they are better fashioned, they understand the meaning of teamwork in healthcare or in any other place they may be, but especially in healthcare, and that by the time we have a man who understands what to do, they are ready to come back. So that's going to be opportunity. It's going to meet preparation. So let's see these as the sacrificial times. And I know that every single Nigerian patient out there is worth it. Our heart bleeds that people are living in their droves. But at this time, the two major things we have to do is primary healthcare, think out of the box, empower our healthcare providers. And of course, when I say empower our healthcare providers, I'm talking across board. Ambulance drivers, pharmacists, nurses, even the porter at the gate, everybody, empower them. Empower the community health extension workers, the traditional birth attendants, standardize all these public healthcare systems we have seen about the place, get them to have standards so that they become the base of our own primary healthcare, and see what's going to happen. Of course, the NHIS must become alive. We must find a way to increase the uptake, and then just see how everything is going to snowball and make Nigeria one of the foremost and really living giants of Africa in healthcare.
Thank you very much, Dr. Loretta. I'm hoping that Obi becomes president, and hopefully you will have a role to play in the health sector under his presidency. Lastly, because we spent so much time today, Dr. Agbansarafe, the incoming president, Peter Obi, did not really expose anything concerning his plans about security. Are you satisfied with this response?
Yeah, I'm satisfied. We know security, you know how dicey it is. And I think he has said it in some other, media chats. Security is not something that you can really just say everything, because it's quite technical and strategic. I'm satisfied, very satisfied.
Okay, thank you very much. Nigerians, we've got to end this broadcast right now. And by the grace of God, we of course will come back again. When we do, But before we leave, I just want to finally say a very big thank you to Dr. Douglas Oko, who called in to ask a question on health. And of course, very, very big thanks to His Excellency, former Governor Peter Obi, and now the presidential candidate for the Labour Party. And of course, a very big thank you to His Excellency, Professor Pat Utomi, who has been very consistent and of course, very supportive, you know, to not just the Obedient family, to Labour, to the commercial family, and to everybody. And of course, to every Nigerian who is believing that this new Nigeria is possible. Let's keep working, let's keep believing. Like I said earlier, Obama says, you know, when imagination is joined to common purpose, everyone shall actually have a chance to fulfill their full measure of happiness. And that is where we are heading. The man to vote for, the man to support is Peter Gregory Obi. And for those who have been asking the accounts to make donations to, he has just said that we should give them a few days to iron some of these things out. And eventually, when that information is out there, be rest assured that we will help spread that information. But let's keep doing what we are doing. My name is Komelate Monsa Oriahi. We are signing out. We see you when we see you. Bye for now.